number.
Traitor! Traitor!
These psycho people. Did the Department of Justice try to get you to frame
January 6th! Traitor!
Did the Department of Justice try to get you to frame President Trump?
Yes.
This is the greatest DC press conference ever. Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. The guy being shouted down is Enrique Tarrio. He was the chairman of the neo-fascist Proud Boys. He helped organize the January 6th riot and got sentenced to 22 years in prison.
This is our enemy. These are the people who want to hurt you. These are the people who want to destroy you.
That is one of Tarrio's lawyers.
These are the people who want to take away your freedom of speech. You have nothing better to do than to shout at a plaintiff in a court.
So
This guy organized the capital attack on January 6th!
If you need my number,
Traitor!
I'll give it to you.
Traitor!
That woman is another Tarrio helper. The hero with the megaphone is a Latina activist named Patricia Eguino. She ran for DC City Council and has a history of trying to get in the way of the Proud Boys. That's her on Donald Trump's January 20th inauguration.
My number.
On this day, however, she is stalking Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, who, along with 4 other convicted felons pardoned by Donald Trump, is now suing the federal government for $100 million. More on the lawsuit in a moment.
Traitors! 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 Insurrectionist bastards! Hebrew elves! And a woman who needs to dye her hair! Your roots are showing, Suzanne! Traitors! Traitors! Traidores!
Your roots are showing, Suzanne. Yes, Patricia Eguino mixes humorous insults with her megaphone. The Keebler elf was a reference to right-winger Ivan Raiklin. On this very same day, Enrique Tarrio attended the sentencing of a DC police officer who was convicted of leaking intelligence information ahead of the January 6th attack. Activist Eguino gave Tarrio an earful in front of the courthouse.
Traitor! 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 Insurrectionist bastard! Go to hell, Enrique Tarrio! Insurgente de mierda! Traitors! Traitors!
For the record, Eguino says the megaphone she uses was manufactured by Pile. You can order a powerful one online for about $100. That is money well spent, especially if you're planning to exercise your free speech rights while confronting neo-Nazis or any other MAGA extremists. Anyway, kudos to Patricia Eguino for showing us how it's done. Now, regarding the Proud Boys lawsuit, yes, I know it sounds crazy, but here is the headline. Proud Boys members suing Justice Department for January 6 prosecutions. Quote, the individuals, including several former leaders of the group, say the prosecution in the case amounted to an egregious and systemic abuse of the legal system and the United States Constitution to punish and oppress political allies of President Trump by any and all means necessary, legal or illegal. 4 of the 5 men, Enrique Tarrio, the former leader of the group, Joseph Biggs, Ethan Nordine, Zachary Real, and Dominic Pizzola, were convicted of seditious conspiracy and each received lengthy sentences prior to Trump's absolution. The group wants the government to pay $100 million in restitution for the criminal prosecution and has asked for a jury trial in the matter. Legal experts call the lawsuit absurd and borderline frivolous. However, the Trump administration has shown it is willing to pay out taxpayer dollars to Donald Trump's highest profile January 6 supporters. The family of Ashley Babbitt, who was shot to death as she tried to break into the U.S. House, received a $5 million payout. And the Proud Boys may believe that their lawsuit, as absurd as it seems, will give Donald Trump all the excuse he needs to fork out even more taxpayer money to people engaged in the January 6th attempted insurrection. Now, it is possible that the Trump administration will choose to defend the Biden administration's prosecutions of the Proud Boys after Donald Trump pardoned them and nearly all the other January 6 offenders. But there is every indication that Donald Trump is going to eventually force taxpayers to shell out for a settlement. And don't be surprised if that opens the floodgates for more January 6 lawsuits and more taxpayer-funded payouts. You see, it's not just Donald Trump and his family who have perfected the art of the grift. The Trump White House is also enabling Trump supporters to rip off the American people. As depressing as this corrupt system is under Donald Trump, for the moment, all of us still have our free speech rights. And nobody is exercising that better and annoying the Proud Boys more than DC activist Patricia Eguino. Good for her. By the way, all hell has erupted in Los Angeles as Donald Trump's ICE stormtroopers go wild.
Firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
I'm good.
That was Australian reporter Lauren Tabasi getting shot by a rubber bullet at close range in Los Angeles.
Protesters and law enforcement officials squaring off after days of raids, riots, and demonstrations. And a rare move by President Trump, mobilizing 2,000 California National Guard troops against the will of the state's governor. Overnight, another major flashpoint in front of the federal detention center where undocumented immigrants captured by ICE are being held. In nearby Compton, chaos. Protests there dissolving into lawlessness. Demonstrators upending roadblocks, setting off fireworks. These protests followed a day of skirmishes between authorities and protesters outside of a Home Depot. Law enforcement firing tear gas and non-lethal rounds into several crowds.
Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from El Rey, who wrote, "This is all on you, MAGA traitors." Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about far-right MAGA extremist Enrique Tarrio recently getting an earful and being reminded loudly that Tarrio is a loser. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.